Inside Huntsville with Brenda Martin, a conversation with department heads at City Hall on streets, ball fields, public safety, and more. And also with our community partners that add economic security, support education, and enhance the city's quality of life.
Hello, I'm Brenda Martin with Inside Huntsville, and thanks for joining me. Today, I'm highlighting two phenomenal organizations in Huntsville, Madison County that epitomizes the word service. The local chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Epsilon Gamma Omega, and the local Alzheimer's Association has partnered with this community to heighten the awareness of this dreadful disease. Here today to talk in detail about the plans is Dr. Wilma Ruffin, president of the sorority, Dr. Cheryl Davis, vice president and program chairperson, and Mrs. Michelle Cain, who is the diversity outreach coordinator for the Alzheimer's Association. And welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got lots to talk about, so let's get started today. Dr. Ruffin, for those viewers who might not be totally familiar with Alpha Kappa Alpha, tell us a little bit about your chapter. I know you're nationwide, actually.
Yes.
And you've got millions or thousands or millions,
hundreds of thousands,
hundreds of thousands of members. Tell us about your local chapter.
Okay, our local chapter, well, first you asked if we were national, international. We are an international organization. And internationally, our organization began in 1908. It was the first African-American sorority started by African-American women on a college campus at Howard University in 1908.
Okay.
And those young ladies, there were 16 of them, and that group of young ladies, with their astuteness and their vision, they have propelled us to grow to 265,000 internationally, with 65,000 of us being active and working and doing the work of Alpha Kappa Alpha internationally. And locally, we are very proud and boastful about the fact that Epsilon Gamma Omega chapter was chartered in 1949, and we have 320 members in our chapter. And they are all very active and working very hard for our community. Within that 320 members and our chapter being chartered in 1949, we are also very boastful and proud that we have two of our charter members still active in our chapter, and they are Mrs. Evangeline Spillman and Mrs. Fannie Pulley Thompson.
Oh my.
And these ladies are still a part of what we do, and they attend what they can attend. And Evangeline Spillman is at most things, and she still likes to dance.
She really is, isn't she? And how old is she?
She is 97.
97.
97.
And she is so active, and you're right, she is at most of your activities,
She is
and
at
then
most
some.
Yes, and then some. And she really, really does enjoy working with Alpha Kappa Alpha. And she is one of those things, you know, as you say, we stand on the shoulders of those who brought us here.
Yes.
And if she can do it at 97, we must continue to do the work for the community and service our community, and in many ways, as many ways as we possibly can. And internationally, there are 993 chapters that are across the United States. And recently, we chartered a chapter in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, really?
And so we are just continuing to grow. And the service that we render to our community and for us with Epsilon Gamma Omega that began in 1949, we continue to do that, and we do that with lots of love and commitment to our community as well. And another thing that we are so proud that we have an opportunity to do, all chapters don't have this opportunity, and that is to sponsor undergraduate chapters. With two universities in our community that have undergraduate chapters, we are their sponsors, and that's Alabama A&M University, Gamma Mu chapter, we are their sponsor, as well as Omicron Zeta chapter at the University of Alabama.
Oh, right here, UAH?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes, we are their sponsor as well.
I didn't realize that.
So that keeps us young, as well as motivated, innovated, and energized, because we have an opportunity to work hand in hand and next to our young people as they come into the sorority, and we learn how to teach, guide, and mentor. And we have in place a formal mentoring program when they are brought into the organization. We have mentors for them from Epsilon Gamma Omega chapter. They are matched as quickly as they come into the.
So they're not just coming in floundering and wondering where to go and
what to do,
and what to do and where they fit in.
Right. We match them with a mentor along with their advisor. The advisor and the chapter president of Epsilon Gamma Omega. We sit and we look at what they have said they like to do and what our sisters in the graduate chapter like to do. And we try to put those two together so they have something in common. And they normally bond and they continue those friendships and mentoring throughout the years.
They're like sisters, aren't they?
Yes, they are. We are sisters. We are sisters.
Forever.
Yes.
And that is so, excuse me, so wonderful. I know I'm off script here, but I do want to just mention while you're talking about programming, Dr. Davis, you're in charge of the programs.
Yes.
So how many programs do you have and are you responsible for?
Well, under the new umbrella for Dorothy Buchanan Wilson, we have 5 targets. And our theme is launching new dimensions of service in Alpha Kappa Alpha. And that will be for 4 years. And the first target is educational enrichment, where we focus on students in grades 9 through 12, and we are working on getting them college and career ready. And they have several modules that they are required to work through for an entire year. And we also, under that particular target, we focus on Think HBCU. That's one of our areas of focusing on heightening the awareness of how important it is that we continue to focus on that rich heritage of our historically Black universities. And then we also have an initiative under there of 1 million backpacks that we are looking to collect 1 million backpacks over the next 4 years. Then our second target, which we're focusing on today, is health promotions. This is where we heighten the awareness of different health issues in the community. And our focus, as I said today, is on Alzheimer's. We also focus on the American Heart Association and Stroke Association. We also look at NAMI, our National Alliance of Mental Illness, that we focus under our target 2, health promotions. And then our third focus is family strengthening. Under that particular target, we look at heightening awareness of childhood hunger. We also do seasonal wraps, where we focus on providing for those who are in need in the community. And then third under that, we look at financial fitness. How can we support families who may be trying to get homes or just financially fit in their own environments? And then our fourth target that we're required to look at is environmental stewardship, ownership. This is where we are looking at 1908, 1,908 playgrounds that we will restore, renew, and we will reduce all of the, we will look at how we can make those playgrounds more functional for children in the community.
Now, are you talking, is this nationwide or?
This is nationwide.
Okay.
And each local chapter bring these targets back, and we focus on them at the local level in our communities.
I see. Okay. So when you talk about looking at playground areas, have you designated certain areas in our community that you're going to enhance?
Yes, we just had what we call Community Impact Day in May. And our playground area for this year is the Harvest community.
Oh, great.
We focused on the Harvest youth community. It was one of the areas that was hit
by the tornado.
By the tornado. And we went there to focus on restoring their playground just in May.
And there's so many children out there.
Yes.
Well, of course, you're a former principal, so you know, too, that area. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Well, so all of your efforts are pretty much geared towards health-related issues. Would you not say?
Yeah, well,
many of them? or most of them?
Several of them are, but our overall umbrella, basically, we focus on the educational piece.
Okay.
We focus on the health promotion area, and we focus on the environmental and global.
Okay. Well, talk about the partnership program that we're focusing on today.
Well, the partnership here, that's one of the partnerships that our international president focused on is Alzheimer's. The main purpose of that is to heighten the awareness in the community of the disease and to provide funding to do research to look for cures and also how to help those caregivers and those that are dealing with this dreadful disease.
Dr. Ruffin, can you add to that, please?
Yes, and within the health, under the Target 2, as we call it, Target 2 Health Promotions, Alzheimer's, as she said, is one of those. And what our international president did was to look at a broad range of programs that she wanted to see us do within the 4 years of her administration. And what she did with those partnerships is she established those partnerships nationally. So she established a partnership at the national level with the Alzheimer's Association.
Oh, did she? Okay.
That's the model that she set in place so that we would do those same partnerships at the local level.
At the local level. Okay.
And we were to carry those programs out through our partnerships at the local level. So that it is really working beautifully. It has really, really worked beautifully in that we've had the NAMI Walk. We've also had
The NAMI Walk.
the NAMI Walk, the National
Alliance.
The Alliance for Mental Health.
Okay.
We partnered with them.
Okay.
And we had a walk where we had an activity for that. And on Go Red, the Heart Health,
Yes.
we had that. And we partnered with the American Heart Association and the
Okay.
locally.
Okay.
And so now we're with the Alzheimer's Association. And we just really have focused in the way that she outlined for us to do with these partnerships, and we have wonderful community partners, and we are able to carry out the goals of our programs.
Okay, well, we're going to talk with Michelle Cain, who is the Diversity Outreach Coordinator with the Alzheimer's Association when we come back from the break.
Bill, have you seen my keys anywhere?
I'll help you look.
Maybe you left them in the bathroom again.
Just strangest thing.
The warning signs of Alzheimer's disease may be right in front of you.
It's all right, baby.
For help and information, call the Alzheimer's Association or visit alz.org/10signs.
And hi, Michelle. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you're the Diversity Outreach
coordinator
for
for the Mid-South chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The whole chapter covers 85 counties throughout Alabama and Tennessee, but our office is a small office, and we cover 12 counties throughout North Alabama.
So does that include Tennessee or just Alabama?
Our office here in Huntsville covers Alabama, but our sister offices cover most of the state of Tennessee.
Okay. And what services are available to assist your patients and caregivers?
Well, we offer an array of services. We have a 24/7 helpline, so families can call our 1-800 number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is a trained master's level clinician available to answer any questions that they have, help them with anything that they're struggling with. But the great thing about that 1-800 number is during business hours, we answer the phones in our local offices.
Do you really?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. And so our other services are we offer support groups. Just in the North Alabama area, we have about 19 support groups. We're always looking to start more, but there is always a support group available. We also offer educational programs. We have educational programs for caregivers and the general public. We have support groups and early stage engagements for people who are in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease.
Let's talk a little bit about the support groups. What exactly do you do there?
Well, family members are able to come to a support group and talk to other people who are going through the same issues that they're traveling through. A lot of times when you try to talk to friends or family members, you're not getting the reactions or the support that you really need. But here at the support groups, there's no judgment. You're not doing anything right or wrong. These are people who genuinely want to help you get through this, and they've been where you are.
And it's not that they don't mean well, it's just that they don't know. Right?
Exactly.
And unless you walk in those shoes, and I can somewhat relate to that. My husband died with ALS, and we joined a support group. And I'll tell you, without that support group, that's why I wanted you to talk a little bit about it. Without that support group, because they were walking in the same shoes in which we were, without that support group, it would have been tough. And family members and friends, they're there for you, but they don't know it.
They don't understand. They're not in it the way you are. And what we've seen is that families who attend these support group meetings, a lot of times they feel a sense of comfort. They feel a sense of camaraderie. We even have people who have come back after their loved one has passed on, because this has now become their support network. This has become their lifeline, and they want to help someone else who's on the journey. So we really believe that support groups are vital to your health when you're caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's disease and dementia.
And with Alzheimer's, you just don't know how long you're going to last, do you?
You don't. Everyone is different. Each of us here is different. The disease would affect us all differently. There are people who live up to 20 years with the disease, and then there are some people that their life is shorter. So the average is about 7
years.
About 7 to 12 years, but everyone is different.
Now, this is another question that I have. What is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Because everyone, I think, puts it under the same umbrella, under one umbrella, and that's Alzheimer's.
It's interesting that you use that word umbrella, because we consider dementia to be an umbrella term. So, yes, so dementia itself is not a disease. It is a collective group of symptoms. And sometimes that could be memory loss, that could be behavioral changes. So it's what we use to describe the symptoms. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive brain disease that destroys your brain cells, and it is eventually terminal. And what we know is that it affects your memory and your behavior and your daily living. And Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia. So, so it's, I like to describe it as dementia is the tree and Alzheimer's disease is the strongest, biggest branch of that tree, because it accounts for about 67 to 70% of all cases of dementia.
Michelle, how did June become the Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month?
Well, we have our other signature event, the longest day, which is June 20th, and which is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And for caregivers, every day is the longest day.
Oh, yes.
You feel like your days are never ending. And so the Alzheimer's Association made the whole month Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month to help raise awareness to the issues that caregivers are having and to the disease itself. So throughout the whole month of June, we focus on educational programs, awareness events, and everything culminates at the longest day.
So that's the program in which the AKAs are helping you with.
Yes.
Talk to about how important is it that this organization has stepped up to the plate and said, and put their arms around you and said, we're here with you and we're going to help you through this.
It is so important, because what we know is that without community partners, we cannot move the mission forward like we need to. So for the AKAs to step up nationally and say, we're here, we're going to help you move this mission forward, we're going to help you raise awareness, we're going to help raise funds for research, it is so important to the cause and to all the families in our community that need the support. What we do know is that Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in our community, but among African Americans, it's the 4th leading cause of death. And most people don't know that. So without our community partners helping us to support the families and support those with the disease, we can't make the advancements that we need to make. So we are so grateful to the AKAs for stepping up and saying, we're going to help raise awareness for this cause.
I know you had to be truly excited, right?
Yes.
Because your office, I mean, you do a lot throughout the various counties that you spoke about, but there's only 3 of you.
Yes, ma'am.
There's only 3 of you.
We are a
and
small
so,
office.
And the AKAs have hundreds of volunteers. And what I know about these women, they're some hard workers.
Yes, ma'am.
And dedicated ladies to whatever it is that they go into.
Yes, and so that is a very beneficial partnership for us, because we need volunteers to help us in all our different counties. Like you said, we're a small office, there are only 3 of us, so we can't be everywhere. So
Yes.
we do rely a lot on our volunteers and our partners to
It's
help
like you
us.
have a lot of sisters.
Yes.
Okay.
We're very
You
happy
have a lot
about
of sisters everywhere, you know. But anyway, listen, we've got a slide here that I'd like you to speak to. And I know even in my research too, I noticed that Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death, but in African Americans it's the 4th. So if you would speak to the slide.
Okay, what we also know is that there are more than 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease or some form of dementia. Worldwide, that number is 48 million. So the push is for us to find some sort of preventative measure or cure, because as the baby boomers age, they are the 2nd largest segment of the population. The first set of baby boomers just celebrated birthdays this year. So that's
Yes,
a lot.
I'll celebrate one in July. That's right.
So you know,
Yes.
it's the baby boomers are at the highest risk for this disease right now. And right now, 1 in 8 seniors over the age of 65 has Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. If we do not find a cure or some sort of preventative measure, that number is going to jump to 1 in 3. And right now, 1 in 3 seniors passes away with Alzheimer's or some form of dementia. And every 66 seconds in this country, someone is affected by this disease. We have to stop that. We have to find a way to put a stop to that. When I first started with the Alzheimer's Association, that number was every 69 seconds. And here we are 5 years later, and it's every 66. So we see how quickly the numbers are changing. So the call is, let's put a stop to this.
Oh my goodness. I'm startled.
Oh, sorry.
You know, I mean, with the numbers, the statistics on this is frightening.
And what we do know too about the statistics is that women are disproportionately affected.
Are they really?
Yes, ma'am, because women, we tend to live longer.
Okay.
So, and most women are caregivers. So you're going to have a segment of the population that is effectively disproportionately affected by this disease. So our goal is to reach those caregivers, or reach those people who are at the highest risk for this disease, get them the education, get them the resources that they need before tragedy happens and you're left trying to figure out, where do I turn, what do I do, how did this happen?
Dr. Davis, with these kinds of statistics, what are the program goals and activities for your local chapter?
Well, our number one goal is, from the international level, is to heighten the awareness of the disease itself among all families, caregivers as well, not just the elderly population, but the young population as well, because they too need to understand the significance of this disease and how much it can affect them later on in life. And then our second goal is the fundraising aspect of it. We want to play a role in making sure that we provide funding to support this effort to look for a cure, and then also to support those who are having to care for those who are going through this dreadful disease. Those are our goals under the Alzheimer's Association, to support them.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, my producer is telling me, wrap it up, but anyway, listen, there's a couple of questions I need to ask you.
Okay.
One, what can we do to stop it, or is there such a thing?
Right now, there is no prevention and no cure for Alzheimer's disease. What we do recommend is that you live a healthy lifestyle. You eat well, exercise, maintain social engagement, and keep your cognitive functioning. Learn a new hobby. Do something you've never done before. Learn a new language. Okay. Do things, do puzzles.
To stimulate the brain?
Yes, to stimulate
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. These 4 things together, stimulating your brain, staying active, eating healthy, and staying social, those things work together to help maintain a healthy brain.
Purple is your color.
Yes, ma'am.
Purple is the color for Alzheimer's, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why?
Yes. Actually, purple is a combination of blue, which is calming, and red, which is passionate.
I see.
So it represents the strength and unrelenting strength of the people fighting this disease, their caregivers, our advocates, and our volunteers. So we are very passionate about finding a cure for this disease, and that's where the purple comes in.
What's your contact number?
Our 1-800 number is 800-272-3900. And like I said earlier, you can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone will answer the phones. And the great thing about the contact center is if they take our calls at night or on the weekend,
yes,
we follow up the next business day.
Okay.
So Brandy, who is our Director of Programs and Education, she is great at counseling families and taking care of the needs of the families in our community.
Okay.
Or they can go online to alz.org.
Okay. How many families, or I don't know if you even know this number, but can you speak to how many families in this area that are dealing with this disease now?
We know that in the state of Alabama, there are over 87,000 people with this disease and 302,000 unpaid caregivers caring for those 87,000 people. Here just in Madison County, that number is about 6,000 people with the disease.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh
so
my
that's
goodness.
why it's so important for the community to be aware of this disease, learn about it, and learn how they can support their neighbors, their friends, their family members.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. And before we wrap it up, I'd like for Dr. Davis to talk about the longest day on June 20th that's coming up.
Right. For us internationally, that's a community impact day. Dorothy Buchanan Wilson has charged all chapters to come together collaboratively and work on making the community aware of a specific cause. In this particular cause here on the 20th, we want you to party with a purpose.
Okay.
In purple.
Okay.
And
in
we
purple.
want to heighten the awareness of Alzheimer's and
Yes.
support the funding as well. You're going to have fun because it will be line dancing and food, and come out to Club 47, and the address is right here. 1914,
And we'll put that up on our,
right?
yes.
And the attire is purple.
Purple.
Be passionate.
Okay, I
With a
love
purpose.
it. I
$5
love it.
cover charge, and come out and help us support the Alzheimer's Association in this important effort.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly hope our viewers and will certainly support this effort. And we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today and talking about this fabulous opportunity that the AKAs have to help the Alzheimer's Association, because we need to continue to support each other in this effort. So we want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. So my producer is telling me, wrap it up, wrap it up. Thanks so much again, and glad to have you here. Well, thanks for sharing your information with us today, and I wish you every success. That's our show for today. I'm Brenda Martin for Inside Huntsville. Thanks for joining me.